One of the things we haven't talked about, you mentioned a little bit, Tyler, like your gratefulness for your team, and obviously it's grown pretty substantially since you've joined Triad. But I feel like oftentimes in finance, unfortunately, there's this focus on clients, prospects, and the team is forgotten. And you really like poured into them recently, really said, hey, here's the vision, here's where we're headed, here's what it's going to take to get there. And really pouring into the team has been a very common characteristic of the firms I've seen scale the quickest, with alignment, with a great culture. So how has some of that work impacted the team?
Yeah, I think that there's not a single person on our team who comes here and just punches the clock. Um, and one of the things that we do that's very practical is on our Monday morning meetings when we get together, I should probably brand that. It'd be pretty cool to have a brand Monday morning meeting. But on our Monday morning meetings when we get together, we spend the first 15 or 20 minutes really just on culture and vision. You guys have said it and a bunch of times. Culture is kind of the secret sauce. It's the secret ingredient that makes this entire thing go. And so we actually spend 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour before we jump into what's going on this week, what needs to be taken care of, what fires are getting put out. That stuff's always going to be there. Daily aggravation is just part of life. But we step back and start our weeks with this idea of culture and vision. And as a result of implementing some of that brand manifesto stuff, our teams started to use that language, not just with our clients, but with each other. One of the things that we talk about around here is like I'm the leader. I have the leadership position in our office, so I have to make leadership decisions. But everybody's responsible for culture. We're all a leader when it comes to culture. We all show up in a meaningful way in each other's lives when it comes to culture. That is a language I did not have 2 years ago. It was a language I didn't live. I wasn't showing up in my team's life. I mean, shame on me, right? I look back on it now and I go, who did I think I was? Now we're starting to show up in each other's lives in a real way. We took a whole day to sit down, go over our, brand manifesto, our vision, to roll that out with our team. And as the leader,
There was a pizza buffet. It was awesome.
and as the leader, it was my responsibility, Andrew's responsibility, our wife's responsibility to put the framework around that, to say, hey, here's where, we're crafting a vision. This is where we want to go, right? But then everybody in our team has blown me away with how much they're able to buy into that when we're able to learn and then use language to communicate that to them in a way that helps them understand how that it'll make their life better. There's a few ways you can make people's lives better, and sometimes it's by leaving their life. And we don't ever want anybody in our office to feel like my life's better now that I've left here. And so like one really practical thing, Brad, that we've done, we started a 401k for our clients, or for our team rather.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that we didn't never have. We never intended to have. But one of the cool things that we decided we want to do is like we looked at the 401k and we said, what would we want? Like if we were employed somewhere and we wanted to have a 401k, what kind of match would we want? And so we gave our team a 10% match, which
Awesome.
we don't have a single employer within, I don't even know of anybody who gets that. And
Mm-hmm.
so like now when I'm talking to my team and I'm talking about building into them, it's easy to feel hypocritical when you talk about that. Because as a leader, you feel like you can never do enough. You just feel like, and it's easy to go look at yourself and go, man, here's where I've fallen short. And so, but now as a leader, we can say we've put our money where our mouth is. We've shown people that we care by giving them the type of 401k match that they'll never see anywhere else. And we're building into other areas to do that too. But now when we open up our mouth and talk to people, talk to our team about this stuff, it's not only aspirational. We hope to become something.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually on the process of becoming it. And we're pushing through and growing in that area hugely. And our team's starting to echo those things back. They're starting to echo back this language of significance, the framework we've built into our Virtus brand. And so that rollout was a really powerful moment for our team. It put it all out there. And then when we start to back it up with real tangible things that make their life better, like better benefits than any employer in town. And by the way, this is a life hack for small offices. we can afford to give everybody a 10% match. The employer here in our town, State Farm, who has 15,000 people employed in our town, they can't afford to give a 10% match. We can do things from a competitive stance when we're competing for talent and recruiting people in. We can afford to do things that other companies can't afford to do, and it gives us a competitive edge. And so there's a lot of benefits to that along the way.
Well, just the one thing that comes to mind, and I'm just going to share another Chris Smithism, language creates. And I heard two things there on your side, Tyler. The first one is how, you did this work. I mean, that was not easy work to distill a lot of that language out of you. And I want to point out that I think sometimes in business, people just think, oh, well, if I just show up, like this stuff's gifted to me. It's like some magic bullet. Like I remember somebody saying hard work or success is hard work, with maybe a nice little adjective in there. Mm-hmm. And you guys worked at it. When you're tired of saying something, you're like 50% of the way done before your team latches onto that language. On the other side, I love that you took the vision of like, we're going to be one of the best places to work in town. And the only way we're going to do that is if we have some of the best benefits in town so we can attract the talent we need to get there. And so I love that you are actually declaring that. Like that's a vision for your team and the culture you want to create. And you're kind of putting the vision out there. This is where we're headed, but you're, backing it up with actually executing on it. So I love that. Andrew, you were going to hop in and say something.
What Victor said in a podcast that you had with him, it's like if everybody, like if your whole team, like you want to go to Albuquerque and somebody on the team's like, no, let's go to Austin. Well, you're off the bus,
Yeah.
Get off the bus. We can get there faster. And so I always think about like we all got to be rowing in the same direction. Like we're all rowing a boat. Like we're all in the lifeboat together, and we're all trying to get to shore, and we're all rowing. We have to row in the same direction. If someone's rowing the opposite direction, it's going to make everything a heck of a lot harder. And so when we make decisions now, as an organization or even as our life decisions, it's like we have a true north, and it's really, really simple to make decisions now because you just point to the wall, right? Like, does this decision, does that embody that? Yes or no? If the answer is no, it's an easy toss away, right? Mm-hmm. Do business, do life. Is this decision what we're going to make? Does that embody that? No? Okay. Easy decision. Gone. Off the table, right?
You're so right. It's a phrase that we can all look at as a team and go, oh, hey, this doesn't live up to our standard. We're not doing this. And that vision to be able to see through all the crap that's out there, marketing ideas or a client that could maybe solve a lot of problems because they're a big client, but they're not the right client, and a team member. We recently had a team member who's a great gal who came through and it just wasn't a good match. And so, she decided, we kind of jointly decided that she was going to move on together, but rather than allowing this culture of like kind of backbiting in our office or talking about her, us saying anything about her afterwards, the conversation was really simple. There's trust, right? We said, hey, the best thing for this gal is she's going to be moving on and pursuing a different opportunity. We're so happy for the time she was here. We hope she learned something and can grow in the next opportunity for her. And that's establishing trust with our team as well. But all of that is coming from a place of like, just creating this culture of trust for our team. And man, that bleeds over with clients. When our clients walk in, they see the way we interact with each other. They hear people talking to each other. They see the way our team's moving. They hear the language from our team and from us. And man, that bleeds over. People just get a sense of it. I'll just finish with this thought is that one of the things we think about a lot in our office is how do we create that magnetic pull for clients when they walk through the door that they go, there's something special happening here. And I don't want to not be part of it. I don't want to miss. As much as they maybe want to be part of it, there's equally a part of them that's saying, I don't want to not be part of this because this is special. It's something I'm not going to get anywhere else.